burnout is really very common these days, but ideally it should not be common. So it is very important as a CEO or a leader of the organization that people don't hit the burnout.
So their social, mental, financial, psychological wellness should be there. That is what I mean with employees' well-being. Hi, very good morning, audience. This side Ankit Lodha, working as a CFO in a fashion ethnic manufacturing company in D2C retail, a qualified chartered accountant, and a leadership member in the current company.
Yes, sir. Hi, this is Dr. Rajesh Rolen, CEO and co-founder of Microlent Systems. We build custom web and mobile applications, and we have expertise in building AI-powered SaaS applications where we analyze businesses and provide technical solution.
So, hey, Dr. Roland, let's get into the topic, employee. So, first of all, what do you really mean employee wellness?
So, employee wellness categorized into two sections. One is their physical wellness, and another is their mental wellness. And as we are more focused toward the mental wellness, so what is important for the employee wellness is that whenever they are in office, they must work as a they are part of this institution, not only as a office worker but as a family. Why it is important is that when we see daily routine of their life, their maximum conscious time goes into office instead of at home. So at home they mostly go to take the rest, but their major conscious time goes into the office. So the office should have the environment where they feel not only home like environment, but their most calm and entertaining and the happiness should be in the office working hours. And to provide that environment to the every member of that office family is a role of a leader or the CEO in the organization. So employee well-being is where they feel like home. They feel like they don't feel stressed doing their work. So how about in your office? Like how do you take care of the employee well-being?
No, so employee well-being, I think, of course, completely agreeing with you, Dr. Roland. I think you want to say also happy people's bound to stay, right? So employee well-being means just we are taking care our employees, our core team members, and the cross functions as a family member. So their social, mental, financial, psychological wellness should be there. That is what I mean with employees' well-being. Um, so, in your like tech environment, you are working with lot of deadlines and this all. So, how do you manage sometimes burnout situation and this?
Yeah, see, burnout is really very common these days, but ideally it should not be common. So it is very important as a CEO or a leader of the organization that people don't hit the burnout. And there are lots of practices we follow. For example, recently we had a seminar with a psychiatrist who explained to the team that how to identify whether it's a burnout or it is general stress. So there is a minor difference between actual burnout versus a minor stress. So a person should be able to identify whether it's a normal thing or if that is something they should concern about. So when to reach a professional. So identifying these things are very important, and to do so, it is very important that they are aware about that. So awareness sessions are very important in an organization where people are made aware that how to identify that what is the mental issues, and how to categorize them and who to reach when. And also normalizing that thing is again very very important. I have seen people taking it as a taboo where they don't feel good sharing such a stuff either with their employee, with their staff members, or even with the family. So first of all, making them understand that this is a normal thing, that is very very important.
Correct, correct. I think most of people are really means restrict themselves to speak about this, and I think uh, speak freely is the real. You have the really well-being motive in your team, like
True, and
right?
and I see that you are into the finance domain, right? So in the IT there are bigger projects, but in finance though there are the bigger work or project, but the preciseness is really surgical level, because a minor value in a finance, if it change, it gonna have a big blunder to that. So how do you handle those situations, and how do you make sure that your employees are at a calm level during such a higher precision work?
I think data quality is really very important, which we can't compromise at the time when timelines are there. And in finance world, always there are timelines, day-to-day basis. Everything is, scheduled, statutory requirements are there. So instead of making the situation burning out is somewhere like this. So of course, we are there to help our team immediately basis. But to maintain the balance between all these things, being a CXO level, all the stakeholders, nobody can be unsatisfied from us, right? So we have to maintain a balance. So to maintain that balance, we have to align our day to day work in a manner where everyone feels contributing in the system, right? Like we motivate them that the work is like really purpose driven. It's not like a checklist. And of course, freedom of speak, गलती होती है, then you it's not like कि mistake हो गया तो then you will be like penalized or something. It has, they have to speak at the same moment, brainstorming at the same moment for the viable solutions. And then we have to groom our team in a system, in our system, that they really see their career in a way कि वो बोलने से घबराए नहीं. तो that is very important, because lot of time sudden requirements also come, laws get changed, opportunities emerging है कहीं market में. So I am basically in D2C, so एनवायरनमेंट इज कम्प्लीट डायनेमिक. वी कांट सी कि एक जैसा स्टैंडर्ड ही रहेगा, वैसा नहीं है. सो दोज थिंग्स आर देयर. सो वी ग्रूम आवर टीम, कम्युनिकेशन कैसा हो, पॉलिसीज, वर्क कल्चर कैसा हो, so that at the time of timeline, at the end of timeline, the burnout situation is not there. And if there is something, then they should speak up in a way ki jo see, the team becomes stronger when somebody takes care of your emotions also, right? So that we try to balance it out.
Definitely, like empathy is really very important part, where it is not about what you say, it is about like how do you make them feel. So they should feel that someone is there with you, or even especially in terms of managers. So people, there was a saying I was going through, that people don't leave the companies, they leave the managers or the toxic
Bosses.
managers, right?
All right,
So
right.
that is a major issue, where the managers, for them, the major task, the major point is to get the task done, but they should be trained in a way so that they can handle the people with a calm manner. Also, uh, you know uh, also it is very important that people are taking rest during working hours. It's like, to get the best, you need the rest. So the resting is again very important. So small gaps during working hours can really improve in their burnout. Also, one of the things which we are following in our organization is that every month we have one-to-one sessions between our reporting managers and every regular employee, and we talk about everything not related to projects. And it is just asking, how is it, like, how's life going, anything apart from journal task or those kind of stuff, which make the employees open up that if they are facing any challenges, not only in the office but at home also. And that kind of relationship between the employer and employee is very important.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. So we have, means like yours, we also maintain financial guardrails to the things, along with the safeguard to the team members, because any failure or any incompliant will come, will take you to the some penalized thing, right?
Mhm,
So, and being not only from the finance side, let's we are into the retail also, right? So
mhm,
we have stores. So suddenly some celebrity or some public figure shows up at the store to buy
mhm,
something, like stuff. So in that case also, we prefer to take like a reset room, or during the sales, during pitching the sales to them, like
mhm,
hi, hydrated sessions, and like post sales we go with a session like a summary kind of session, that how was the experience or anything to be posted on media or like that. So breaks are really important and really critical. It does not really slow down your way. It's really boost the outcome actually. So breaks are really important, whether it is pre-sale, during sale, or post-sale. So that is we also focus. And beyond that also we always take these all well-being initiatives in a manner like phase one at a like whatever our flagship store is there and the corporate office, we always implement those initiatives there. And then the second, we try to take scale. Once it is like going good, then we scale those things to HR and L&D level at our company. And then third, we implement throughout across the organization. So that is how retail works, where we need to balance like customer happiness, their feedback, postal things, like during sales also we need to convert our material customization according like what they say. So lot of things are there, and that we always take care in the with the timelines, क्योंकि अगर अपन ने लेट डिले डिलीवर किया तो उसकी शादी है, राइट, उसका उसका ओकेजन है, तो दैट विल बी मिस्ड. सो ऑलवेज दैट इज देयर.
So Ankitji, like you
हाँ
and
हाँ.
me are having more experience than
हम्म.
like employees we are working with right now. So
हम्म.
so you must have seen like there is a huge difference how we used to handle mental health during our working time like 10 years back or 15 years back versus now. Like I believe like 15 years back or 20 years back there was no awareness about that, and nobody was talking about mental health. It was always keep on working, keep on working. But these days everyone is aware about there is something called mental health and we should take care of that. So do you also see that difference?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. COVID kind of things and recently war kind of things. See, the outside external factors are keep changing. If you do not adapt those changes accordingly, or if you do not implement, तो पहले होता था कि धंधे के लिए काम करते थे, फिर जनरेशन चेंज हुई, वो अपने वेलबींग के लिए, अपने बच्चों के लिए काम करते थे. टुडेज टाइम आई थिंक जेन जी इज कंप्लीटली वर्किंग फॉर देम सेल्फ ओनली, राइट.
True.
सेविंग सेविंग का या और किसी फैक्टर का. सो वी these things are very important to understand. And when you are in a leadership role, then you have to align from top to bottom all the members of the hierarchy. So many times it happens that due to lack of knowledge or education, or maybe certain perceptions are there that ये cost बढ़ जाएगी, वो cost बढ़ जाएगी. So then we have to put our step into that discussion, and then we have to say कि cost versus benefit क्या है, why we really deserve this, what are the compliances part, uh, how we can scale. Because I think happy employees will really bound to stay with you, and they are really jewels for the company, where they speak their experience, their work culture, like they go outside, they speak, they give the mouth publicity. And that is work that is really worked in the retail industry, where
True.
everyone is associated very closely. तेरे वहाँ पे क्या कितना धंधा हुआ, मेरे यहाँ पे कितना धंधा हुआ, then your word of mouth is really very important. So that's how we need to tackle and need to balance all these situations, Dr. Roland.
So there is a saying that you cannot pour from an empty cup. So
Right.
if you yourself as a leader, if you are not taking care of your mental health, of course you won't be able to take care of mental health of your employee as well, right? So how do you take care of your mental health? How what kind of routines you are following, or if any sort of tricks or any sort of specific routine you are following in day to day life to make sure that your mental health is not at stake and it is well managed.
Yeah, yeah. So what we do is, let's say mindful breaks, no Friday meetings, calendar no to touch. There is always, like in my meeting, I always take care that after meeting, if somebody I think he was not present, तो मैं उससे जाके बात भी कर लेता हूँ आफ्टर मीटिंग या आफ्टर डे आवर्स, कि लेट्स सिट टुगेदर 5-10 minutes, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज, बिकॉज एवरीबडी इज कैरिंग अ इनविजिबल बैग इन आवर कंपनी, राइट, इन द मॉर्निंग. कुछ इनविजिबल बैग में किसी के घर का स्ट्रेस होता है, फैमिली का, एजुकेशन का, एक्सपेंस का. सो दैट आई रियली नीड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि what stresses are going on behind that, any situation. If he is physically present, mentally is not present. Let's say one of my colleague is, having marriage in the next month actually. So it's my duty, being part of not only just a team but as a like co-partner in the very means, various things. आई नीड टू कनेक्ट विथ हिम कि यार तेरे को कोई फाइनेंशियल गाइडेंस चाहिए, कुछ सेविंग या पर्सनल लोन या वट एवर, लाइक फ्रॉम कंपनी साइड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी शेड्यूल, तो वो सब चीज़ चाहिए. तो दैट इज़ हाउ आई फील कनेक्टेड विद दैम. Apart from this, like performance management is really very critical if I talk about my team. So performance management is it's not like you are just having a task list and to do list and then that is complete. Performance management is something like you are carrying them beyond the work as well, right? So किसका क्या growth है, कब increment होना है, aspirations क्या है, learning curve क्या है. So those all things I really keep in mind कि because leaders are really important. If you are not in place in this world, there should be something which goes automate, right? Things can't be dependent. तो वो बहुत important है, and that is I used to take care with my team while discussing. I used to develop leadership with them also, कि अगर लीडरशिप उनको भी अपनी टीम को हिरार्की में लीड करना है, सो हाउ दे कैन बिल्ड like any course or something contents or from outside which I feel it will help them in grooming their career, that also keep sharing with them so that they feel motivated, they feel part of the ecosystem, and that is how we work as a family. uh, there certain policies are there in place like posh हो गया, poaching policy हो गया, वर्क कल्चर के ऊपर हो गया, बट दे आर फॉर्मली समटाइम्स they
True.
are there, but everyone is not able to speak or they do not have the right communication channel, right? So in
Mhm.
that case, we are there to establish a proper channel of communication, manner of communication, stakeholder, invest how much stakeholder is how much invested in that channel. तो वो बहुत important होता है ट्रांसफर नॉलेज ट्रांसफर करने का. So that is how I take care of my this thing. And psychology, हाँ, one more thing sir, in like war kind of situation, covid kind of situation, so there is like जॉब का सेफ्टी है क्या नहीं है. सो दैट इज़ वेरी
True.
इंपॉर्टेंट टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल टू brief them what is happening inside the boardroom,
Mhm.
inside the core meetings. And then second, we need to guardrail their career also. Like
Mhm.
किसी का अगर केयर स्ट्रांग नहीं भी दिख रहा है या सर
Mhm.
फॉर अ सर्टेन पीरियड ऑफ टाइम लगता है कि यार इसका प्रोफाइल कहीं और डाइवर्सिफाई हो रहा है,
Mhm.
होता है ना, जैसे मैंने एक काम दिया लेकिन किसी और ने भी उसको दूसरा काम दे दिया.
True.
तो
True.
वी हैव टू मेक अ बैलेंस इन अ वे दैट देयर profile or their job somewhere they feel secure. It's not like just a monetary cash or perk we are giving them. It is all about their well-being, mental well-being or financial well-being. तो वो समझ के I connect with them, I relate with them. And जैसा आपने बताया कि 10 साल 15 साल पहले अपन भी उसी सिचुएशन में थे. So that is really very important to understand that which career path will take them to the next level. So that is what I use in day-to-day thing,
Great.
Dr.
Let me share you one recent experience where one of our employee who resigned. Happened is that he was having he didn't had father, and after resignation, after I guess 1 month or so, he lost the mother as well. And and he has a granny to take care of, as well as a younger sister. So the scenario was totally changed. He actually resigned just to go to metro cities and get a better opportunity, and that resignation was accepted and everything was handled. But then the scenario changed immediately. So I personally called him and I said that that is okay, I do understand that you were looking for the opportunity, and now the scenario has been changed, and don't worry about that. If you need immediate support in terms of financial, you can ask me amount whatever you need, because there are
Correct.
social responsibilities
Yes,
involved.
yes, yes.
So that, and also if you want to change your mind and continue with the organization, again we are open with that. So you can count it as your leaves during the time where you need to do certain cultural activities or rituals for the family, and after that you can join back. And then he joined back, and he canceled his resignation. So that kind of thing is really important, where employee feels that we are safe with the organization. That is what is very important. Also, one more thing, when you were discussing about assignment of the work, that is again really very important point from burnout point of view, because even when I was an employee, I used to face this thing that you have lots of seniors and everyone is assigning tasks to you. So who to prioritize? Basically what happens is that who comes latest gets the priority. So what ideally should be done is that work allocation should be done by the one person only, that is your reporting manager. And whosoever another person want to assign the work, should that work should be given to manager only, so that manager can know the priority and assign to the employee, so that employee is just focused on the assigned task, instead of setting the priority and responding to every manager separately, and getting into the conflict. I would like to share one more thing. There is a very good distribution of an employee in terms of role, where we want, whenever we do the hiring, there are four things, or the four factor we should take care of. One is like skills, knowledge, behavior and traits. And behavior and traits are really very important when we talk about the burnout. Skills and knowledge are something you can develop over a period of time. Behavior and traits are something, especially the traits which are inbuilt from a longer period of time, and you cannot change. And when you hire someone who is not having behavior and traits according to that role, creates the burnout. For example, let's say there is an accountant in an organization, and that accountant might be working for 2 to 3 hours only to get the work done for that organization, and rest of time he's free. So being an employer, what we think is that let's assign him something, because he's sitting idle. My accounts work is, let's say, 2 to 3 hours only, why not assign him another work? And what that employer do is that, for example, he assigned him cold calls or marketing calls. Now the behavior or traits of accountant is that he is precise in a nature, he don't lie, he is very introvert, or he remains within. But the traits of behavior needed for a marketing guy is totally different, where he has to be open up, he has to be talkative, he can do overcome it, lots of things are there. So that person cannot be utilized for that another role. Likewise, if you put a marketing guy into accountant role, and you want him to handle that, he won't be able to do that. So those things create a burnout also, where employee for certain role, having a certain behavior and traits, gets a task to be done in another behavior or trait needed things. So that also creates the burnout situation for them.
True, true, certainly. Right people, right place, and right process, right? So I think that is really important to understand being on a leadership part, right? And
True, true.
ये सब में क्या एम्प्लॉय का बर्नआउट हो जाता है. स्मॉल एग्जांपल आई टेल यू. सम डेज बिफोर I have asked 7:30 p.m. to my one of junior colleague, but in age he is senior. So I asked कि ये मेरे को रिपोर्ट आप 15 मिनट में दे देना, and then you leave for home. Suddenly he burnt out, right? कि मतलब मेरे ऊपर इतना काम है, वो है, वो है, वो है. मेरे वाइफ का तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, मैं 2 दिन पहले मैंने छुट्टी लिया था, इसके लिए लिया था. आई टोल्ड हिम, स्टे, please, calm yourself, okay? This is okay, I will handle. You please leave for home peacefully, okay? Settle, discuss with your wife, and tomorrow morning please meet me when I'm at office for just 5-10 minutes, okay? So there is no like situation like I can't handle, I will handle this thing, and then you please relax yourself. You won't believe, next day morning, when because I do not meet him every day basis, so he really show up to me कि सर मेरे कल मेरे को बहुत टेंशन था, मेरा ये हो गया था, फैमिली का ये हो गया. I told him I completely understand, and that is okay, that work has been done. So now if you need any help, because of this, like, currently I have been going through a fundraising round and everything in my, so I was really occupied. So I told him ki I was really occupied and could not sit with you in the last week as well. So you just let me know if you need any kind of help. So it will, so I think burnout can happen anytime, like you mentioned, on any page, I think. So that's there.
Also, Ankitji, like it is not always, people who are burnout always blast. There is another symptom that they go into silence and disengagement.
Correct,
So they
correct,
don't,
correct.
engage into anything, and they just remain silent. So that is
हाँ,
another, kind of people who are burnt out, who don't explain their scenarios, or they don't even blast. They just go into a silence zone, and they don't
yes, yes.
remain active within the organization, and that kind of thing. So that is where we need to identify such a people, and have one-to-one discussion with them. So whenever people go to any psychologist, the maximum involvement of psychologist is hearing them out. And when someone gets someone who can hear them, that is again a kind of therapy. So just even by hearing them, you can give them a level of relief where they feel comfortable, and they feel okay while sharing their issues what they are facing, whether at home or at office.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. So in fact, I remember an incident I read somewhere, like CEO of a company, empty chair with a CEO of company. So that was there. So what was happening? It was a technology company, and then employee called Maya was there. So every day she comes, works, and if anyone asks how are you, then she smiles and say I'm fine, I'm fine. Then suddenly one day it was Monday, and then I think pre-scheduled email was there at 3 a.m. and she mentioned in her email to her manager that I am burned out. I am invisible in the company. So can I take some leave? Then CEO, like chair of CEO, is like he has shaken up, like a very simple person, every day smiling, every day responding, I am fine. So from the very next day, any meeting CEO conducts from his side, he put a empty chair for a employee like Maya, and then he mentioned ki if somebody is there and if we are not listening, if somebody is there, if we are not attending, if we are not going into emotion, so this chair is for those person. So each and every decisions to be taken, each and every policy is to be mentioned in a way that we are listening to the employees, and that is why the burn situation can be avoided, or can be decreased in the system. So that is really important. Listening ear is very important to the next person. सुनना ही थेरेपी है अपने आप में. So
True, true.
that is true, that is true.
And also, like, if it is possible for you, if you could share any personal experience, have you faced burnout in your lifespan? Like, if you have faced burnout, or higher level of stress, and how you overcome.
So I would not say burnout, because हमारे फील्ड में थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेस रहता है पहले से, right? So
True.
recently I closed my fundraising round and everything. So what happened is, one of my consultant is working with me on remotely. ठीक है,
Hmm.
तो ये रिक्वायरमेंट है, ये देना है, ये रिक्वायरमेंट है, ये देना है. So like 3-4 months it has been going on. Then suddenly there was a timeline कि ये टाइम को अपने को ये रिपोर्ट देना है. You won't believe, at the last day सिनेरियो हैज़ बीन चेंज. उन्होंने बोला यार कि इस पे राउंड स्टाम्प नहीं चाहिए. इट वाज अ बंच ऑफ लाइक 500 पेजेस, और इस पे राउंड स्टाम्प नहीं चाहिए, इसमें हमको लॉन्ग स्टाम्प चाहिए, एंड देन साइन साइन चाहिए. स्कैन भी आज ही करना है, अपलोड भी आज ही करना है पोर्टल पे, एंड एवरीथिंग इज देयर. एट दैट मोमेंट आई वॉज फीलिंग आई वॉज बर्न आउट. लाइक मैंने उनको बोला यार
True.
आपकी लोकेशन अगर रिमोट नहीं होती, आप यहाँ होते, तो आप समझते that how the work is going on, how because aligning the management level for the signing of same papers for the 300 pages or 400 pages it's really become difficult. उनके साथ बैठ के साइन करवाना, समझाना वो चीज़ों को. सो आई फेल्ट दैट मोमेंट रिसेंटली, कि मेरे को लगा यार, अरे यार आप वहाँ नहीं होते, इधर मुंबई में होते, तो देन यू वुड एबल टू सी दैट हाउ माई सिचुएशन इज. बिकॉज right, so happens, it is not like it doesn't happen, but at the end we need to balance actually, because many of stakeholder works with us on the same time on different things in a parallelly. So then we need to like, कभी कभी वो जोकर वाला भी काम करना पड़ता है, वो प्लेट्स मैनेज करते हैं ना दोनों हाथ पे नाक पे और ऊपर, तो हमको वो भी काम करना पड़ता है, बट that's how we work and maintain the stakeholder interest carefully.
Hmm.
तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है.
Great.
आपके
Yeah.
केस में रिसेंट एनी केस वेयर यू फेल्ट योरसेल्फ बर्न आउट एंड देन हु हेल्प्ड यू टू कम आउट ऑफ दैट सिचुएशन एंड हाउ डिड यू रिएक्ट आफ्टर दैट डिस्कशन?
So it was, let me tell you, like it wasn't like recent, but almost like 10 11 years back I faced a burnout when I was working with some company, and I was staying alone in that city, and not, so much people to talk, and that there I faced this issue, and someone, notified me that who was living with me in the same apartment. He said, like, you watch a couple so seriously that you are working on project, that way you are watching the couples show. So I literally, one day I found myself googling like how to remain happy. So that, that made me notify that, okay, why I'm googling how to remain happy, and is it some condition, or how should I behave in a, normal person, why I'm googling how to remain happy and why I'm not. So I analyzed the things, and I found that, okay, because of overworkload, or and not staying with the family, and not having friends, and not talking to lots of people, so there are lots of things which I was not doing correctly, and the scenario was there which made me go into that burnout situation. And when you are in a burnout situation, you don't want to do lots of things which ideally you should do. For example, when you are in a burnout situation, you don't want to talk to anyone, but in reality, if you talk to someone, it will give you relief. So
Correct.
what mantra I came up with, that whatever you don't feel like doing, do it. If you don't want to talk to people, talk to them. If you don't want to go outside, and visit the place, or go on a holiday, or that kind of thing really helped me in that situation. But after that, I was able to manage it properly. Also, it educated myself to identify such a scenario, and it helped me while working with my employees as well. I have literally notified few of my employees that you are in a burned out situation, and you must consult a mental health professional, and it is okay, it is not something you are mad or something, it is simple thing, just consult with this guy. So being aware myself helped me a lot to make not only my employees aware, but identify if they are facing such a challenge, and helping them with that.
Right. I think really important on these all things for them. Freedom to speak is really very important. Uh, uh, I think wellness audit should be there. Very soon it will
True.
come into like from Western culture where no policy asked if anybody takes leaves, right? कि 7 दिन कंसेक्यूटिव ले ले या तो भी नहीं पूछेंगे, और यहाँ पे प्रिविलेज लीव लेने के लिए भी उसको पूछना पड़ता है मैनेजर को, राइट? अपना इंडियन
True.
कल्चर में. सो आई थिंक रियली इम्पोर्टेंट व्हेन वी गिव परमिशन टू फेल to them actually. And very soon like in our company as well, we run like employee happiness index, but I think somewhere mandatory and well-being audit will come into a picture where because पेशेंस लेवल हैज़ बीन डिक्रीज, एवरीथिंग इज़ इन क्विक कॉमर्स, हम लोग भी ई कॉमर्स पे हैं, तो हर चीज़ के लिए वेट करना वगैरह, वो पेशेंस लेवल बहुत डाउन हो गया है जनरेशन का. ओके, इन दैट सिचुएशन बर्न आउट कम्स रियली फास्टर रेदर देन. पहले कैसा होता था कि हम लोग वेट कर लेते थे, ये काम 10 मिनट बाद होगा, 15 मिनट, बट दो सिचुएशन हैज़ बीन गॉन ना. सबको अभी टिप्स पे चाहिए सारी चीज़ें. So everything is on available on quick commerce. So in that situation, it's really important to come with a compliance part from the I think authority side, well-being audit करके. So there आपकी कंपनी का जो प्रोफाइल है, उसका जो रेटिंग है, दैट और ऑफ कोर्स ये पार्ट भी होना चाहिए कंप्लायंसेस का, सो दैट दैट विल बी देयर, आई बिलीव, बिकॉज जैसे पॉश पॉलिसी आया, जैसे पोच पॉलिसी आया, जैसे सर्टेन रेगुलेशंस रिगार्डिंग लीव्स, पीएल क्या हो, सीएल क्या हो, बोनस, एक्स्ट्रा टाइम, डे ऑफ, फ्लेक्सिबल वर्किंग, ये सब हुआ तो इसके साथ में धीरे धीरे शायद ये भी अपने सिस्टम में आ जाएगा. बट इट्स रियली ग्रेट दैट being on leadership position, if we normally communicate with our employees in a way that they feel free to speak, really that is important, because uh, MNC's culture, you see it's really different, where like Amazon अपने employees के साथ उनकी family को भी wellness program initiatives extend करता है, right, where
Mm-hmm.
नाइक स्पोर्ट्स और मैराथन काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स रन करता है, नाइक जो है कंपनी. देन अदर कंपनीज लाइक अदर कंपनीज जहाँ पे एम्प्लॉयज़ को वैल्यू किया जाता है बियॉन्ड देयर रेगुलर पर्क्स, कैश, कंपेंसेशन. Listening here is very important, that what you were saying, so really it's critical to
Yeah,
the
this as
employee
you were
success.
talking about this generation, Ankitji. So
हाँ.
this the patience level is really low, and they are so impatient. And the reason is that our fathers or the generation of our parents, they were mostly working for bread and butter, like for daily the daily expenses. They needed a job. Our our generation, they didn't work for bread and butter, they worked for some savings and some money. This current generation, they have bread and butter, they have good savings with their parents. They are grown up in front of laptops and tablets. They have
हाँ.
instant reels, and they are really
Everything
impatient, they cannot
they
tolerate for seconds.
right,
So
right.
that is where, like, handling with care is really very important, because these people are so low in terms of patience that for a very very small thing which we didn't even mind it in our time, these
Right.
people gets burnout. So
Right,
the
correct.
education is something we need to provide to them, that this is a normal thing where there is a workload. It is not something imposed on you. You have to do certain tasks. It is okay if something is delayed. So the patience training is again very important. Like you said, these people are not patient.
Right, right. So everything is available on their fingertips only. So it's true. And being on the in the retail side, when we commit something to our customer कि ये दिन पे ये piece deliver हो जाएगा, या being into e-commerce or online availability, so everything keeping in mind a balance of next level is required, because पूरे सिस्टम में अगर एक भी पार्ट कहीं मिस हुआ ड्यू टू मिस कम्युनिकेशन और वो मिस हो गया, तो देन आउटकम विल बी फेल, राइट, कस्टमर एक्सपीरियंस विल बी फेल. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आजकल फ्रीडम भी है रेटिंग का, स्टार रेटिंग का वगैरह, तो देन यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ द नेक्स्ट लेवल बैलेंस.
Like common sense is not so common. Same way,
राइट,
like
राइट.
patience is missing. The basics are
हाँ, हाँ,
missing.
हाँ. Haha, right, right, right. So as I mentioned you, there are certain companies which are coming with their predefined policies. So policy का बहुत बड़ा role है. Being from the leadership role, if the policies are in place, if the communication is in place, then people feel more free to work, free to say, free to take the next step in their career level also. Whereas if the leadership role and the policies, if those are not clear or not in place, not in the well communicated, और channels नहीं है, अगर communication है भी सही तो उसके एक proper channel अगर आपने proper नहीं बनाया है, so that our employee becomes dissatisfactory with their work, with their culture, with their day to day things,
Yes,
and that
like you mentioned,
hmm
like the policies are
hmm
very important, and with that,
right,
with every there should be a role clarity document where there is clearly defined, like employee with the employee, that what is needed to be done, what is expected from him, and how it should be done. Many of time,
you're
what
right,
I
right,
have seen is that while giving the feedback, manager just say, okay, you were not up to the mark, or it is not what is expected, without giving them any clarity on what is expected from them. So it is very very important where employee is being aware of that what I should be doing and how it should be done. So when you give a clarity over what is needed to be done and how it should be done, it is easier for employee to perform based on your expectation without getting burnout.
Right. And my expertise also into the make that things scalable, because e-commerce is completely impacted by the external factors. Okay,
Mhm.
so unless and until we focus on these micro things in our day-to-day management, things will not scale in a manner which really requires as per the external factors. So I have to ensure that my teams are equipped with future capabilities. Okay, anything emerging outside, the system, we should grab those opportunities. We can't, neglect those things as well. So keeping in mind these things, if we come out with a policy, with a proper communication, like you mentioned, कि उनका अगर performance भी है, so that is not based on the just outcome on to do list. Okay, it should go with the emotions, empathy, his personal career goal, his aspiration, what can be, maybe he's not fit into the right role as you mentioned earlier. अगर वो किसी रोल में अपने को लग रहा है फिट नहीं हो रहा है, या एक दो काम अपने को शिफ्ट भी करना है, सो दैट क्लैरिटी एंड दैट दैट वर्क्स अ लॉट इन देयर माइंडसेट, एंड कहीं ना कहीं उनको जॉब सिक्योरिटी सेफ्टी को लेके भी उनका परसेप्शन चेंज हो जाता है, बीइंग ऑन अ लीडरशिप रोल. If we tackle in that manner, it brings you in a different path of success, right? So I think true leader is one who is really takes care of person rather than the performance. And I think strongest teams builds up when they take care of personal emotions rather than gossips and this all things in the normal system. So that is really important. So I remember one more incident, Roland, when um, a town hall was going on in a big company, and suddenly when the questioning session was there, question has been asked, sir, I have an anxiety, so can I take a leave? So I think CEO was on the call, and he was like completely took a pause for 3-4 seconds, and then he mentioned, yes, if your body is unwell, your mind is unwell, so leaves are there for you and we are there for you, and you are 100% allowed to take a leave based on the anxiety. And in fact, if you need the help beyond that, we have this. So people speaking coming out of the normal things and speaking beyond the day-to-day work is also a challenge, where you meet the employee wellness things. ओके, तो वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है करना, बिकॉज साइकोलॉजिकल इंडेक्स इज़ डिफरेंट. मैंने आपसे क्या बोला, उसकी स्टोरी कहाँ से कहाँ तक क्या बन के जाएगी, वो उनके दिमाग में फिर नीचे हिरार्की में कैसे जाएगी. सो वो एक डिफरेंट सिनेरियो बन जाता है. सो आई थिंक रियली इंपॉर्टेंट कम्युनिकेशंस, पॉलिसी एंड दिस ऑल थिंग्स. सो रोलन, what I was saying is, being from finance background, I take care of the financial well-being of my employees. I think from a digital side, I think digital well-being kind of thing, where certain sessions should be there where they are completely, breakups with their mobiles and screen and everything. So आप भी उसमें कुछ contribute करते हैं, या कुछ आपकी कंपनी की तरफ से करते हैं?
Any sort of screens or sound or anything unnatural. So just we just educate them, but practically it is really difficult these days to make people get their hands off from the mobile or the screen. So I mean, like, we do educate over digital detox, but practically I don't think it is easy to achieve these days.
Dr. Roland, before we end up, what would be your piece of advice to the generation, current generation or futuristic generation?
So my advice is to speak with people and speak with the friends who don't judge you. Speak out what you feel. Speak with your managers. Speak with your CEOs if you are facing any sort of challenge. Don't keep that within. It won't help you if you keep the things within you. It is always recommended to speak with your friends, family, and everyone involved. Nobody's gonna judge you if they really your friends, or if they are really want to help you, they are not going to judge you. So always speak about it and get it sorted instead of keep suffering.
Right. So my piece of advice to the young generation is to give them the permission to fail, because they fail, they learn, they experience, they come up with the new skills, they come with the out of box thinking, and then that's how they groom and they invite the well-being to their family and friends. So permission to fail is the one which I want to communicate through the all the leaders across the boards, to give this permission to the next hierarchies.